I mean, we've got to do something.
What do you propose?
Huh? How should I know?
I see you're awake. That was a nasty fall you took. Can you stand?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Zach Erickson from Nintendo Dads, and we are here for another video review, this time, of course, of Fire Emblem Warriors. And once again, I'm going to be showing off some of this footage here that I have pre-recorded for your viewing pleasure. And, yeah, that's what we're up to tonight, or today, or I guess it's today. I'm recording this on a Tuesday night, so that you can watch it on Wednesday morning. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You are here to listen to this and watch this beautiful footage and talk about Fire Emblem Warriors. So Fire Emblem Warriors, by the way, if you have played Hyrule Warriors or any of the Dynasty Warriors games, I think you got a pretty good idea of what you're in for. Having said that, I know that, like, basically, you know, especially for the Nintendo audience, people are going to be comparing this to Fire Emblem Warriors, or sorry, to Hyrule Warriors, specifically the one on the Wii U. And I would say, you know, just as a piece of history before we even talk about that, you know, there was a 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors called Hyrule Warriors Legends that kind of innovated on the series. You know, so basically the whole purpose of the Warriors series is fight around this huge map, take out tons of enemies, but really there's some situational awareness, and you need to know what's going on the entire map and the entire battlefield, because that actually will play into where you, or how you kind of how you play through the levels, right? You can't just fight a bunch of enemies. It's not just destroy all the enemies. It's like defend these forts at certain times, defend this character, go and rescue a character, those sorts of things. And to get it out of the way right now, I personally feel like Fire Emblem Warriors is a better game overall. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Hyrule Warriors. Having said that, I would say that what this game does is that it successfully brings in some of the things from Hyrule Warriors Legends, such as character switching, which was great in Fire Emblem, or sorry, in Hyrule, in the 3DS version of the game. I'll just put it that way.
Understood.
The 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors, which of course was the Zelda game, and you know, some of the strategic command options on the battlefield that you were able to do in that game, and it marries them with some cool tropes from the Fire Emblem series, which are really cool. And I personally feel like this is a superior game. It's more fun in just about every way. You know, it's more strategic, and which you would expect from Fire Emblem. Having said that, there are a couple of downsides. The first one would be that Hyrule Warriors had introduced this great new thing in the Dynasty Warriors sort of franchise. And again, I don't have a ton of history, so in the comments, if you're like, oh, well, actually, Dynasty Warriors number 75 had boss battles too. Whatever. So in boss battles, you know, the Hyrule Warriors had boss battles being like the big Dodongo or the big monsters, right? Where you had to, they were really like Zelda fights. This game doesn't have those for obvious reasons, except for one particular part of the game. And I'm not going to spoil that because it's beyond the review embargo. However, I will just say in the campaign mode, there is one monster boss battle. And if you've played a Fire Emblem game, you probably can guess what that is, but I'm not going to, you know, whatever. Anyway, other than that, there are no, at least so far, unless there's, you know, in some of the later history mode levels, there aren't really any big bosses and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of a miss, but having said that, I also personally wasn't that big of a fan of, you know, like throw the bombs in his mouth and then run up and fight him again. You know, like it wasn't as fun. This feels a little bit more fluid, a little bit more enjoyable. Those bosses kind of broke the pacing for me in that game. So anyway, the story mode, I would say it has a total of, well, I won't say exactly how many, but it has significantly more, whatever, I'll say it. Yeah, spoiler alert, there's 21 missions in the story mode, which is the main campaign of the game. And so just to play through the story mode once, which you never do in a Warriors game, but, you know, whatever. Just to play through it once, you know, I would say that's going to take you, I don't know, like 10 hours easily, right? Like it's a pretty decent sized campaign. Plus you've got the history mode. So there are a total of 5 different maps in history mode. This, of course, is similar to adventure mode in Hyrule Warriors, where they had that overworld map of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, of the Zelda map. Jeez, the Zelda map, right? And this is similar to that, but instead of having that overworld map, you have a particular, you know, you have all these enemies on the maps. And each one of those enemies on the screen represents a mission that you need to do as well. So, having said that, it's pretty cool, and it's a really fun mode, and yeah, so it gives you lots of additional content as well. So, with all of that said, what I'm going to say here is that those are the different modes, and you've got tons of different missions. The graphics in this are great in single player, and this is one of the downsides for me. In single player, it's great. You know, playing it on the handheld, it's perfect on the handheld. It looks awesome. In the TV mode, of course, we have a different video that I've already put up. That is the quality mode versus performance mode. Quality mode being 1080p, 60 frames per second, or 30 frames per second. The 720p is in performance mode, but it's 60 frames a second. I personally, I don't know. I think it's honestly kind of a toss-up, because once you're in there once you're playing for more than about a minute, you kind of forget what mode you're in, and it doesn't matter. But it's still nice to have that option. That was my personal experience. Of course, there is no option in handheld mode because that screen's only 720p anyways. So it looks great regardless, right? So. However, in multiplayer mode, which there is a multiplayer mode, any player can, you know, jump in as a second player, and it does split screen multiplayer. So, you know, you've got player 1 on the top, player 2 on the bottom, and I played this mode quite a bit with my 7-year-old son, and it's really, really fun. It's really fun. Like, I really enjoyed myself with it. Here's the problem, though, with multiplayer mode is that there's the graphical performance. There's some serious pop-in issues going on in multiplayer, where I was looking for a particular enemy. You know, I've targeted them. I can see them on the mini map. I can see them on, you know, the overworld map. I know they're supposed to be there, and they're not that far away from me. But you almost have to, like, it looks on your screen like there's nobody there, and so you run where the mini map says they should be. And suddenly, when you're almost on top of them, then suddenly they would show up. That's really frustrating when you're looking for particular enemies. And it happened often enough to take me out of it and to be a little bit annoying. I never died because of it. You know, you just kind of attack the air, and then eventually they show up. But when you've got 2 different players both attacking big swarms of enemies, I think that's when it was really triggering in. Character progression stuff is great in the game, so that's the negative, right? And that honestly is one of the only negatives that I can think of in this game. If this isn't, if this is the kind of game that you enjoy, but the character management and stuff like that. The cast of characters is great. There were some duplicates, which I thought was kind of lame. I think there are 3 different Pegasus Knights in this game, and I don't need 3 of them. There are duplicates, whereas in Hyrule Warriors, every single character that you unlocked had a different weapon, different moveset, whatever, right? This one has fewer characters, and some of them are duplicates. So you have 3 different Pegasus Knights, which the only difference that I can see is in their super moves, basically, is what I'm going to call them. Right? They're sort of like fill up the gauge and push A, and then you get this big flashy animation. Those are different with all the duplicates, but that's about it. Their basic attack pattern is the same. So pick your favorite, I guess. One from each generation. So yeah, so that's, again, it's not that annoying. I don't know. It didn't bother me that much. So it's just when you're comparing this to Hyrule Warriors, that's a difference. I think that this is a game that if you want to have some fun action, fighty, you know, it's a great game to just sit down, play a mission, especially that history mode. Sit down and play a mission, and it's fun. I really like it. So check it out if that is for you. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. This is a really, really fun game. It is addictive. It is enjoyable. Do not miss it. You know, I know Mario's coming out next week. This is coming out this Friday, October 20th. So if this is something that is interesting to you and you can afford to splurge and go on both, obviously, you know, this is something that you either put on your wish list or you pick up day one, depending on what's interesting. There's also DLC coming, which I personally am interested in because, you know, I still have a lot of the history mode left, but I am excited by the prospect of having all this other DLC, right? So that's cool. I'm excited about that. So anyways, that is just about all I have to say about Fire Emblem Warriors. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I know that this game is a little polarizing, right? I've seen the early previews. I've heard some, I listened to some of the early previews as well. And I have to, you know, for people who are down on this game, I have to disagree. I think that this is a really, really good game. I think that this is a refinement of the franchise. And it's really, really fun. If you are a fan of Fire Emblem, if you are a fan of Hyrule Warriors, in both of those cases, I would definitely say give this a shot. It will be, you will enjoy it, and it is a good time. So, anyways, thanks everybody for listening and watching and hanging out with us on Nintendo Dads. We're going to be recording an episode again this Wednesday, which is today. If you're watching this the day that I post this video, it's tonight at 9 o'clock Mountain Time. That is 8 Pacific. So come right back here to youtube.com/c/NintendoDads/live, and you'll see us every Wednesday night. And of course, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/NintendoDads. And in general, you people who listen to this and watch this show, you're awesome, amazing people. We love you very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I like those results. Now we can give orders. A successful mission.